Mocha. Hey, kitty. Kitty, kitty. There you go. Let's see those eyes. She's just too busy grooming.
All right, everybody, howdy, hello. I really should be indoors editing a podcast, but it's nice out, sunshine. So, I saw something on Twitter today, which reminded me of something I saw on Twitter a while back, and I chose not to comment on the thing a while back, but today's thing that I saw provides the comment to the thing that I saw a while back. That's all rather vague, so let me throw up some examples of what I'm talking about here. So a while back, looks like on November 5th, I posted something about just where I mentioned in passing the Gray Tribe, and I mentioned vaguely libertarian sentiment, prevailing among the Gray Tribe. Gray Tribe, being the only alternative that I know of to the red and blue tribes here in the United States, socio-political tribes. And my friend Glenn, who I know, in IRL, in real life, and who is, a complicated person with a heterodox set of beliefs, but also a member of the Blue Tribe, as far as I understand the term. He made some mention of just, standard ugly Blue Tribe stereotypes about libertarians. And, he invoked the stereotype of the incel, basically the angry incel hodling crypto. And, that's his vision of libertarians. And I said, that's a vivid stereotype that you've invoked, but it doesn't necessarily represent the majority of people with libertarian views, particularly given that characterization. Can you hear these dogs barking in the background? I'm hoping this mic is really just giving you my voice, but I would not be talking normally were it not for this mic. Not with this sonic environment. But I said, that's a vivid stereotype. What's more, it's a very current stereotype. And libertarians, they're the only political party that isn't the Democrats or the Republicans that routinely has presidential candidates on the ballot. I mean, I suppose you could say the Greens as well, but the libertarians they get a lot more vote share than the Greens. So libertarians have been around for a while. To identify them as, crypto hodling, gun worshipping, women hating, incels, it's just so of the moment. It's so of the moment. So in response to that, Glenn offered up the following from Jeffrey Levin, who defines libertarian as, noun, one who believes that oppression is best handled by the private sector. Glenn said, your thoughts? Well, I thought better than to comment at that time. I just did not. I let that thread die. But today I saw from Doomsday Parent, here's Doomsday Parent's bio: noobsteader, father, cannabis industry professional, marketing dork, video producer, and culture war pacifist. It's that last part that I really want to draw attention to. Somebody who's really not looking to engage in culture war, sniping. So he pointed to a post by Martyr Maid, who wrote, the people who think Rittenhouse should be imprisoned for trying to provide aid to people and protect property from rioters also believe that the rioters should not be prosecuted for hurting people or destroying property. They don't have an argument, they just want to see you hurt. To which Doomsday Parent commented, quintessential culture war framing of the enemy's position adds nothing except pollution to the info commons. Brilliant. I love that. Let's read that again. Quintessential culture war framing of the enemy's position adds nothing except pollution to the info commons. So let's jump on back here to Jeffrey Levin's libertarian. Noun, one who believes that oppression is best handled by the private sector. Is this a description that any self-described libertarian would accept as a fair, characterization of their position? Of course not. This is the enemy's framing. So Doomsday Parent has pointed out this, this ugly quintessential culture war framing of the enemy's position coming from the right, from the red tribe. But the blue tribe does it reflexively as well, to the point where I just don't think they understand that they're doing it. I think it's become so ingrained, so second nature. It's so endorsed by major public figures just exercising it. This models the behavior for a lot of people who just, most people will never take a course in logic. They will never take a course in critical thinking. They will never take a course in epistemology. They're modeling the behavior that is presented for them, by public figures. And the conversation has become so degraded in the past couple decades, really since the rise of the web, I think, that, for me, emblematic is news anchors who describe some set of affairs as begs the question. It's emblematic of the relationship between critical thinking and public discourse these days. Have they ever been more divorced? Maybe it's not fair to ask it that way, because have we ever had this sort of interconnectivity and this sort of rapid crystallization? When an event or a set of circumstances first presents itself in real time, there's a lot of different people looking at it from a lot of different perspectives. And, there's a lot of different framings, and even people who are genuinely, affiliated or allied on one ideological side of a divide or another, they have different takes. But sooner or later, and in the current, Twitterverse, 24-hour news cycle, always commenting, the crystallization process happens quicker, whereby all of these diverse, slightly idiosyncratic takes on a particular subject quickly crystallize into your tribe's position, which you are then obliged to either endorse or just stay quiet about, because if you try to articulate a slightly different version or a slightly more nuanced version, or one just using different words than the crystallized version, you suddenly become suspect. You are no longer a reliable standard bearer for your tribe, and you will suffer the consequences. Now, you might not get killed, you might not have the flesh stripped from your bones or be, burnt at the stake, but you will be made to suffer by your own team, if you fail to endorse your team's crystallized position in the exact right language. Now, I live in Vermont. I live in deep, deep blue America. I'm about to move to deep, deep red America. So these days, most of the ugliness that I see in this arena comes from the blue tribe. I understand. I fully understand. And I'm moving to Arkansas. I'm going to see the red tribe side of this, and I know they're no better. I know they are absolutely no better. And in many ways, they're much more fantasy prone, much more paranoid. And who was it who wrote the article? I think it was Richard Hanania. Is that how you pronounce his name? Talking about how the blue tribe reads, the red tribe doesn't read for the most part. They mostly watch TV or listen to the radio or podcast or whatever, but they listen to the spoken word. And blue tribers are a lot more ideological in that red tribers are bored by ideology. They're focused on personalities. So if you turn on Fox News or, One American News Network or Newsmax, or you go read Breitbart, everything's about specific evil Democrats. Everything's about Joe Biden, AOC, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders. They're very, very focused on personality, and they just don't care very much about ideological positions. They know that they don't define, they don't present a well-defined ideology to their audience, because they know their audience doesn't really care. Their audience is much more tribal and much more cultural in their focus. Real men work, reading books isn't work, that sort of focus. Whereas people on the left, in the blue tribe, and I shouldn't even have said left, forget that I said left, just talking about the blue tribe, they do tend to be more focused on ideology and more focused on ideological buzzwords. Now, I know the red tribe has their ideological buzzwords. I don't know what they are in the current moment, but Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi from a few years ago. That was such a red tribe shibboleth. And I don't care about Benghazi. Let me be very clear about that. Gray tribe member here. because I'm surrounded by blue tribers and because I mostly see the ugliness of the blue tribe on display, you know, in the culture war around me, it sounds often like I'm coming to the defense of the red tribe. I come to the defense of working people, many of whom are red tribers. But in terms of the red tribes, you know, their team morale, their their up or down position relative to the blue tribe in the current boxing match, I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. Plague on both your houses, for real. But blue tribe members read, red tribe members listen and talk. And yeah, sure, they do lots of typing, but you know, their typing comments, granted, they are as eager to throw insults as the blue tribe. They are as eager to just assume that you are the embodiment of the exact position that they most hate. They do that just as readily as the blue tribe. I understand that. It's just living where I do. And before I lived in Vermont, I lived in New York City. The people I've been around, the ugly culture war viciousness that I have personally borne witness to has been conducted by the blue tribe. So stay tuned. Stay tuned after my move to see, you know, what I have to report in terms of red tribe offenses in this very offensive culture war environment that we all live in. I mean, maybe you don't, but it's very unlikely that you're hearing my words right now if you don't. So I'm not a culture war pacifist, but I do try to be... it's hard to be neutral when you hate both sides. You know, I'm not Switzerland, and I'm not afraid. I think, you know, Switzerland's neutrality is carefully cultivated and paired with other things like being, you know, armed and in a mountainous region that would be hard to invade. But it's strategic. You know, it's not ideological. Their neutrality, their former neutrality, you know, this is in the World War II era. I don't think they're neutral anymore. Their neutrality was strategic, you know, for their self-protection. I just don't care. I mean, yeah, stuff could happen that would really piss me off. It surely will. But I don't, I mean, this was the point of my initial tweet to begin with. I don't say or refrain from saying much of anything in order to placate the red tribe, the blue tribe, or the gray tribe. But, you know, the gray tribe doesn't excommunicate people. The gray tribe doesn't language police. The gray tribe just doesn't really give a shit. The gray tribe is rather irritated that all of the, you know, the contested pieces of ideological territory that are being fought over are even relevant to anybody's thought process. You know, gay rights, gay marriage, unisex bathrooms is like blue tribe, yay, red tribe, boo. Gray tribe, why are you even fucking wasting my time with this bullshit? That is the gray tribe position, you know, on those issues. And that's my position. It's like, really? This is what we're going to spend our brain power on? We really do have more worthy subjects, you know, more worthy outlets for our collective intelligence than what we obsess over. All right, that is all. Talk to you later.